It's been more than 7 years now since Hurricane Irma ravaged homes across Florida. And some of those homes have yet to be replaced by a Florida agency that promised to help those in need. For the past year now, we have been highlighting the problems with the Rebuild Florida Hurricane Irma Repair and Replacement Program. One woman has no home, just an empty lot you see right here. As she told On Your Side's Jennifer Titus, she's turning to a group of volunteers as she waits for answers from the state.
It may not look like much, but an empty lot is supposed to be home for Wendy Aguiar.
I've owned it for more than 2 years.
Not to mention, she's been paying HOA fees on the property for 3 years.
They have us trimming trees when it's hurricane season because we're residents there. And they keep saying, "Where's your home?"
It's where Rebuild Florida was supposed to set up her new mobile home. Back in 2019, Wendy signed up for the Hurricane Irma Repair and Replacement Program after her home was damaged by the 2017 storm.
They came, did measurements, inspections, photos, and so forth. I received my letter on January 23 of 2020 saying that the decision was a total replacement.
She says after back and forth with Rebuild officials and the owners of the community where her home was damaged,
we encountered an issue because I live in a land lease community.
The owner of the park didn't want Rebuild to replace her home there.
So Rebuild Florida offered us an option and they said, "We'll just get you a home in the same park." After a month, we fell in love with our dream home in here.
She thought her journey was done, but then she got a call from Rebuild.
And it was a go until they discovered that HUD didn't allow them to offer us that option.
So that's when she found this lot.
It was about 2.5 years all over the state of Florida looking for land that was affordable.
In a town hours away from where she works and lives.
That was in Moorhaven, Florida. I got it for roughly $11,000.
But she says she had no other choice if it meant living in a home that was safe.
I had to empty my 401k.
But after years of dealing with the program,
my son at the time was a minor and I wanted him to have a better life, a room that wasn't full of black mold. Now he's 23 years old. He was almost 17 when we were approved.
She says a filing error deemed her inactive.
Which I'm not. I have paperwork to substantiate.
She spent more than a year now trying to get answers.
Back in August, they were supposed to get back to me. Representatives are hired to do a job. And I don't see that that's happening.
So she turned to Seniors versus Crime.
It was a program begun in 1989, and it was designed to educate seniors about problems that they might run into being senior citizens, taking advantage of, maybe frauds. And it's since morphed into 32 offices around the state where we actually take complaints from people of any age and try to resolve them.
John Caravella is an office manager for the Gainesville office.
There's probably thousands of complaints.
Some of those complaints recently include Wendy's asking for help with the Rebuild Florida program.
We know that it seems to be a lot of money thrown at a problem that went awry. We've received complaints from citizens where they've been waiting years to try and get either back into their house after an attempt to rebuild it or a replacement. And sometimes the ball is dropped completely and these people never hear from anyone after some shoddy work has been done.
That's why Caravella sent this letter to Alex Kelly, the Secretary of Florida Commerce, the agency that oversees Rebuild Florida.
To try and get at least the avenues of communication open with him, his office, and the complainants that we have.
Are you hoping that they get some sort of help or fix from the vendor or somebody from the state?
Absolutely. One of the concerns I have is if there's fraud in this, and it potentially might be criminal fraud, but we don't really pursue criminal matters.
Wendy feels like she's pursued all her options.
The contracts are one-sided. I don't see what's happening as legitimate. I see the whole thing as a fraud.
She's hoping any help she can get will be one step closer to turning this empty lot into her home.
And I just want accountability at this point.
Now, everyone that works with Seniors versus Crimes are all volunteers. They can't take any legal action. But of course, we know multiple agencies are looking into the Rebuild Florida program and complaints like Wendy's. We are still trying to talk with the Florida Commerce Secretary because once again, they have pushed back the deadline for when those homes are supposed to be completed. We will let you know if and when we hear back. Jennifer Titus, First Coast News, On Your Side.